the question was, if you can have an athlete that suffered an injury, who is that athlete that you wish was just healthy throughout their whole career? Like they never suffered a major injury. And I'm not talking something that sidelined somebody for like a day or two. You know what I mean? I'm talking like a injury-riddled guy that it clearly impacted their career, that they were off to a great start or destined to do great things, and then an injury kind of took away their full potential. Who is that player for you? Just right off the bat, who's the first guy you think of? Because I already said it. We were thinking the same guy. Same guy.
Stole your thunder.
Yeah.
I have I can name one each easily: football, basketball, baseball.
Right.
And the first one that came to mind, baseball, Ken Griffey Jr.
Absolutely. I mean,
sweetest swing in baseball ever. And it's like when he signed with Cincinnati, that he just never could get a full season in.
Right.
And I pulled up some of his stats on Baseball Reference, and it's insane some of the numbers he put up when he was in Seattle. I mean, he hit over 50 home runs twice, 49 and 48 in 2 other seasons. And he was just a home run machine. And then when he got to Cincinnati, the first year he hit 40 home runs, and he never got above 35 after that, just because he kept missing time. He only played in 2002. He played 70 games. 2003, he played 53 games. 2004, he played 83 games. And in 2004, in only 83 games, he had 20 homers and 60 RBI. I mean, it's just insane some of the production numbers he could have had. But his 162 game average for his career, 38 homers, 111 RBIs.
That's ridiculous.
And that includes his last few years where he went to Chicago and then played in Seattle for 2 years. But I just wish, what would have happened if the early 2000s,
right.
I mean, he would have been the guy to break Aaron's record instead of Barry Bonds. And you look at Ken Griffey Jr., and to me, it's obvious Ken Griffey Jr. wasn't on roids. He was one of the few guys that wasn't.
Pure, right.
And he was pure, and that's probably the reason why he was injured so much, because he wasn't on the juice.
I tell you, man. I just wish. I really do. That's the answer. Once you said he's on my shirt, I said, no. I think it's the obvious answer to anybody that knows baseball.
Right.
I mean, that guy, and we're talking about his offense.
Yeah.
We're just talking about his offense. What a stud he was defensively.
Yeah,
I mean,
what about that catch he broke his wrist on the wall?
I mean, there wasn't
crazy.
anything that he couldn't catch. I mean, we see Mike Trout, a phenomenal center fielder. My goodness. But, I mean, Ken Griffey Jr. was the entire package of a baseball player.
He's a true 5-tool player.
Absolutely.
He really was.
Absolutely. And it's you just always stop and say, what if? What if this guy never suffered these injuries? How good of his numbers he could have been. In my opinion, when we talked about, Mariano Rivera getting inducted into the Hall of Fame, first unanimous player, and people go, how has this not been done before from other players? And I get it. Not that Mariano's not deserving of something like that.
Right.
But how is Ken Griffey not? You know what I mean?
Right.
Like Ken Griffey easily could have been the first. This guy, in my time of what I've got to see, and I was still pretty young when Ken Griffey was playing, so it's kind of faded memories.
Right.
But I do remember him playing. That's the best baseball player I've ever seen. The best baseball player I've ever seen. The swing was beautiful. The little, when he connected on one and it was gone, that little drop of the bat, the way he does it.
Right.
I mean, it was the coolest thing in the world.
He didn't flip the bat. He just dropped it.
Yeah, it kind of just went all the way around, and you knew it was gone. And it was the coolest thing in the world. He would just drop it, a little bit of hop in his step. I mean, the hat backwards. I mean, he's the top answer in any sports. We can talk, like you said, we can name others in other sports, but the first guy that's always comes to my mind,
right,
is Ken Griffey Jr. I think he could have been the best player to ever play if he didn't have those injuries. I honestly do. It's just how good his numbers could have been if he just didn't have those injury years.
Right.
It's just It's a shame. It's a shame. His numbers were great. He's
He's
all
still,
of famer.
like,
He's still one
Still
of the
at
best.
630
baseball.
home runs.
It's not like
it's insane.
It's not like he really suffered like some other guys have. Like
Right.
you just don't know what became of their or what would have become of their career if they didn't suffer some injuries. But this guy was how much better would have been? Like those numbers would have been ridiculous and records that I don't think ever would have been touched again. He was that good.
He's already one of the all-time greats,
Right.
But he would have been at the top of the list for the all-time
Yeah,
greats.
there would have been no debate who the best was. I think if Ken Griffey never suffered
Yeah,
injuries.
it'd be Babe Ruth and Ken Griffey Jr.
It's
I mean,
ridiculous.
it really would.
It's absolutely ridiculous how good he could have been. Now, thinking of other sports, Alex he sent me a text. He said Grant Hill, Derrick Rose, Mark Pryor, and then Marcus Lattimore as well.
Marcus Lattimore.
Right, and that's one of the examples we just don't ever really know how great he could have been.
Right.
Because it just was the opportunity, unfortunately, with all the injuries that he had to suffer. We don't know what he would have been able to do at the pro level. Never got the chance to play.
Right, absolutely.
And that is a shame. So that's another good
I think
one.
just for the college level, it took away. I mean, he was
he was a stud.
he's a Heisman Trophy candidate waiting to happen.
Yeah, he
really.
touched the ball 36 times a game, 40 times, and it just got stronger as the game went along. That was a workhorse. But, yeah, and I think another guy that comes to mind on this list instantly is what Derrick Rose. And I've seen that name a lot on there because, my goodness, like people don't realize. I think a lot of maybe some of the younger, and I know I'm not that old, but I think people like my cousins or something, they don't know how good Derrick Rose was when he entered this league.
Right, and especially that Bulls team when he won the MVP.
Right.
That team was terrible.
Joakim Noah was your biggest help,
Yeah.
He was a triple-double guy like a Draymond, but, I mean, that's not a,
Yeah, but he's not. I mean,
Right.
he could get you 10 points off of rebounds, but that team was awful offensively.
I tell you, my cousins play video games now. They know Derrick Rose on the Timberwolves and, play
Right.
for the Knicks a couple of years. They have no idea, probably, how good this guy was. Like, he was a complete stud. Like, just a one-man wrecking crew. And if you watch the YouTube clips and the explosiveness, the power that guy had, they showed a little clip I seen. I don't even watch the NBA award thing. I don't care.
Oh, it's terrible.
Yeah, I don't care. But I did flip through some channels and I saw it was on, and they were talking about the best moment of the year. And the first highlight, representative was Derrick Rose's
50-point game.
50 points. Yeah, 50 points that he had for Minnesota early in the year. And they kept showing flashbacks to his glory days with Chicago. And you're just watching, just like, that guy can fly. I mean,
That was insane.
And the thing is, I don't think he's that bad of a player today.
No, what did he average this
don't.
year? Like 18 a game?
But he's not that MVP level
No,
that can
he's
carry
not.
a team anymore. But, people he's not that good.
Right.
And if you have not seen him in his glory days, I mean,
he was a stud, which
how good he could have been. It just makes me wonder. But one ACL injury that started it all, and it just kept
right.
with a whole lot of other issues, injuries, personal reasons. That is another name that comes to mind, I think, instantly as well. Ken Griffey's number one for me, but Derrick Rose would be up there.
My
Number two.
basketball guy would be Penny Hardaway.
Penny Hardaway, okay.
Penny Hardaway was the guy that was averaging 25 points, right around mid-20s. And when him and Shaq were together, that was the duo, man. Penny Hardaway was a 6'6" point guard that could take anybody off the bounce. Unbelievable athleticism. And when he was paired with Shaq, it was awesome. I mean, he was Kobe before Kobe was Kobe. Now, Kobe was better than Penny.
But that kind of player.
But Penny could have been a Kobe-esque player with a much better ability to pass. And when he had the ACL injury and injuries kept popping up on him, he was never the same. To me, Penny Hardaway is the guy I think of. And Grant Hill, too. Grant Hill was a good one. He had all those ankle injuries, and then finally he came back late in his career and had a couple all-star appearances with the Magic, and he may have He was serviceable with the Suns, but Penny Hardaway's the guy for me that could have been an all-star.
I'm trying to think of some other ones off the top of my head. I
Bo
do know
Jackson.
Bo Jackson, with the multiple sports getting that done, that was just a freakish injury. And I mean, he's ridiculous. But I think some other guys that kind of come to mind, Roy Halladay, who was a Hall of Famer.
Right.
But how many years did he spend so much time on the disabled list with some kind of injuries?
Right, absolutely.
He was so good that he would be hurt for months at a time. And by the time he came back, he still was the leader in several major pitching categories. That's how good that man was.
Yeah.
That guy was filthy. Just
he
disgusting.
was a stud.
He's one personally that I always wish the injuries did not affect was David Wright. The third baseman for the New York Mets.
Yep.
You hear about it all the time that players that spend just 2 minutes with a kid and it changes their whole entire life. That's what David Wright did for me. I'm not even a Met fan. And I went to a Met game and he signed my glove. Still got the glove.
Nice.
Still used the glove. And he talked to me and I hit him in the face with the glove by accident. I was too excited and I threw the glove and I hit him right in the face. And he still signed it and talked to me for about 2 or 3 minutes of my time. And okay, all right. There's a bug that's crawling, and I'm talking a massive bug, folks. And I don't do nature. You know this.
He's on the run.
He's on the run.
He's at the 10.
He's at the 10. He's at the 5. Touchdown. It was just crawling towards me.
Yes.
Yeah, nice. It's all right, little friend. Just don't touch me, and we'll be okay. You go on with your business. Don't come near me. That is massive, by the way.
Yeah, it is massive.
It looks like it flies, too.
He's getting his rightful spot over there beside your Jets.
Yeah, well, he must like me. I think we're friends, and I guess he likes the show. He came out, but back to the conversation. David Wright, though, just to spend that time was pretty remarkable. But this thing is fast too, man. This thing is fast as light. I don't even know what that is. It is massive. It's like a beetle-looking thing.
Another guy that comes to mind was Hanley Ramirez. I think he kind of took a dive.
I think his attitude, though, he had a really bad attitude towards him.
Yeah, I don't know if it was really injuries.
That thing does fly. That thing does fly. Keep talking among yourself and keep going with that thought. It's running away. Never mind. I can't get it. It was gonna die a horrible death, but it went away.